Where do I start? Why don't we start with the Belgium versus United States game? That was the last game of the 2026 World Cup for the US men's national team. And it left us with a taste of poop in our mouths. Not that I know what poop tastes like. I never tried poop. It's on my bucket list, but I haven't gotten there yet. And the problem with that game is that it can very easily cloud our judgment, right? And think that everything is doom and gloom. And here's the thing. It's not all doom and gloom. There are a lot of positives coming out of the 2026 World Cup that will benefit U.S. soccer in the future. And today, I want to talk about that. Hello. If you're new here, I'm Filippo, and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. And today I want to talk about the future of the U.S. men's national team and why I'm actually very excited for the 2030 cycle. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There's a lot of negatives also with the Federation, MLS, USL, the close pyramid that we have, partially pay to play. A lot of things that I have talked about here at the channel, and I'll talk about it a lot more throughout the cycle. But today I want to focus on the positives, and I want to give you 5 reasons why you should look forward to this cycle, the 2030 World Cup cycle, and beyond. All I ask in exchange is for you to hit the like button in this video. Do it right now. It's a great way to support the channel for free, and to subscribe to the channel right now. And this video is brought to you by Monarch, but more on that later. Okay, let's roll the intro and start with reason number 1. Reason number 1 why you should be excited for this cycle and beyond is that our niche community is growing. It really is, right? Soccer is actually no longer a niche sport in the United States of America. Just look at the numbers that this World Cup put out, right? The viewership numbers. I'm not talking about the stadium attendance, because in 1994, every stadium was packed. And once again, during this World Cup, despite the prices, despite FIFA, it was still all packed and sold out. But look at the TV viewership numbers. They were incredible. And listen to this. Up until the mid-quarterfinals, obviously it goes even higher later on, we had, up until the mid-quarterfinals, the World Cup US viewership match ranges from 10 million plus on 51 matches. More than 10 million people watching on average for 51 matches. 15 million plus, we had 22 matches. 20 million plus, we have 12 games. 25 million plus, 7. 30 million plus, which is incredible. You start to beat like NBA Finals numbers. We had 3. 40 million plus, we had 2. And we had one game that had over 50 million viewers, which was the United States' game. And let me tell you, those are some big boy numbers. A lot of those numbers that you saw right now that I just showed you, those are NFL playoff numbers. Soccer is no longer a niche sport in the United States of America. Belgium versus the United States had over 50 million people watching. That's the most watched non-NFL sporting event in the 21st century in the United States of America. That is incredible, beating NBA Finals, beating the Olympics, Major League Baseball, and honestly, a good chunk of the NFL playoffs. Those are incredible numbers. So I just want to make one thing clear here. Soccer is no longer a niche sport in the United States of America. Now we have to see how US Soccer, MLS, USL, and a lot of the clubs, local clubs here in the United States, capitalize off this so we continue to grow and continue to improve. But the popularity is there. Now it's about what we do with it. Now, before we go to reason number 2, we're going to put a quick word from the sponsor of this video, Monarch. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Do not go anywhere, and make sure to drop a like in this video if you haven't already. It's very easy to overspend during the summer. Traveling, outdoor activities, and much more. You know, just living life in general. However, you can and you will stay financially responsible. And that's why today we are partnering up with Monarch, the best budgeting app of 2025, according to the Wall Street Journal and myself. And you can use the code TMTV at monarch.com to get your first year off Monarch Core half off at just $50. That is $50 off your first year at monarch.com with the code TMTV. Now, Monarch, what is it? It's the personal financial app that tracks everything for you. Your accounts, savings, investments, spending, whatever you want. You literally link all your accounts within minutes. It's very simple. And then you see your money organized with clean visuals and smart categorization. You can also even collaborate in the app with your partner or a financial advisor at no extra cost. It's very easy to use, trust me. And I started using it to keep track of my cash flow and spending. And honestly, this has been saving me time and money. It kept everything organized. I'm not using spreadsheets anymore. And you know, time is money. So it's actually saving me money twice. And you can use the code TMTV at monarch.com to get your first year off Monarch Core half off at just $50. That is $50 off your first year at monarch.com with the code TMTV. Thank you very much, Monarch, for sponsoring the channel. All right, reason number 2. And if you made it this far in the video, you're probably watching it while on the toilet, because I don't know if you know this, the highest retention rate for YouTube videos come from people that watch the video while sitting on the toilet. It's true. Look it up yourself. Reason number 2 is, listen, if you only think about the Belgium game, it was crap, the World Cup, right? But up until the Belgium game, we were having the best World Cup in US men's national team history. It is true. We never put up performances like the one against Paraguay, Australia, Bosnia. We were doing great. We scored 11 goals this World Cup, okay? That's a record for the United States men's national team. So what am I trying to say here? We have a good 10 to 12 players that you can build around and carry on to the 2030 World Cup and do very well. If you can find some up-and-coming young prospects that I'll talk about very soon that can add value to this team. We don't have the depth yet, and we are lacking in a few positions, but we have a strong core base. And if you want to pick 3 players that we should probably build around, it would be Balogun, Tillman, and Richards. One covers the defense, one covers the midfield, and one is our most threatening forward. It's not Pulisic anymore. We have to still call up Pulisic. He can be the Robin of this team. He can't be the face anymore. We should build around those 3 guys. And then also, not just Richards, Balogun, and Tillman. You have other players that still have a ton of value that are good players. Tyler Adams, Alex Freeman. Those are good players right there. Who else? Pulisic, McKennie, Serginho Dest, Anthony Robinson. And then you can bring in guys like Johnny Cardoso that was injured and wasn't available for the World Cup. So what I'm trying to say here is this is still a very good team. Do not let the Belgium game cloud your judgment. That was a really bad day for that team. You saw some very good games, like against Senegal before the World Cup, against Germany before the World Cup. So don't let that Belgium game erase everything that you saw prior to. And I'm not here to shill and say the future is bright. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that we do have good players and we can still have a very good 2030 cycle. And many of these guys that I named, they'll be in their prime in 2030. We can do a lot better in 2030 and they'll have this World Cup experience, this baggage and everything that happened against Belgium. Hopefully they learned from it, all right? Which brings us to reason number 3. We have actually some very good up-and-coming young prospects. And we really do. We have some great prospects coming up. So after the 2014 World Cup, we didn't have much young talent coming up to replace that generation, which ultimately kind of led to us missing the 2018 World Cup. That was one of the many reasons, right? Some of the stars coming back to MLS, Klinsmann and Bruce Arena, the Federation, there are many different reasons, but we didn't have a strong generation coming up right away. Right now, we do have players that very likely will be ready for the next World Cup, right? They'll be hitting ages 20, 21, 22. I'm going to name a few. I'll make a video maybe in August talking about USMNT prospects that I rate and I think have a brilliant future. But for example, Mathis Albert is 17. He'll be 21 in the next World Cup. Right now, he's making the bench for Dortmund, right? He was at the end of the season. Kevin Sullivan will be 20 probably in the next World Cup, so maybe he can be added. Peyton Miller, the left back from New England Revolution. Mehmedi is an incredible midfielder that is, I believe, 17 or 18 from the New York Red Bulls. Very talented. Julian Hall from the New York Red Bulls. Diego Cochin, the goalkeeper from Barcelona that just got loaned out to Denmark. So we have a lot of young talent that I will talk about in August, and you should be excited because out of these names that I mentioned, if we can get at least 4 or 5 of them to add value to the current group of players, we are going to be very well served for the next World Cup with veterans, players in their prime, and young prospects that'll be rising, and they won't be that young by the time the World Cup arrives, right? They'll be in their early 20s. What's my point here? There's actually a lot of young talent coming up, and that's a reason to be excited. Reason number 4 is somewhat connected to reason number 1. It's about how the sport has been growing in this country so much, tremendously, right? I've never seen so much criticism from the media. Obviously, that's mostly for clicks, but I haven't seen ever this much outrage from fans. It started in the 2024 Copa America when we got grouped, right? We lost in the group stage and it led to Greg Berhalter being fired. But I've never seen this much outrage and criticism coming from the fans. And as long as it's not like personal attacks, it's a very good thing. The federation sees it. The players see it. Sponsors of the team and the players, they see it. That can lead to players losing sponsorships, for example. And that will make them work harder. That will make them understand how seriously they have to take the national team. For example, like Pulisic skipping the Gold Cup, right? Little things like that. I firmly believe that fan pressure and outrage was the reason why we ended up hiring Mauricio Pochettino, because the federation saw that, the sponsors saw that, the leadership saw it. And I think it did play a role, which I think was a good thing. I think Pochettino was a good hire, and I think overall he did a good job. Did he shit the bed against Belgium? He did. The players did. They all did. But I think overall he did a good job, and with Pochettino, we were trending in the right direction besides the Belgium game. So what I want to say here is that's a reason for you to be optimistic about the future. Continue to demand more as a fan. Do not do personal attacks, nothing like that, but continue to demand more. And when time is right, we can start putting pressure on the federation to open the pyramid. Now, you can't just impose promotion relegation on MLS. That would destroy U.S. soccer. It has to start at the state level. From the state level, go to Division 4, Division 4 to 3, 3 to 2, and then you get to MLS 5, 8, 10 years from now. They will have time to prepare. It's not the right time right now, but as the fan base grows, which it is, eventually there will be a lot of pressure for it, and I think in the future, it'll happen. No earlier than 5 years from now, probably at least 10 years. But eventually, it has to start. So again, be excited for the future. Last but not least, we have lesson number 5. And hopefully you dropped a like in this video already and subscribed to the channel. So number 5 is we have a lot of soccer coming to the United States of America over the next 4 years, all the way till the 2030 World Cup. So listen, obviously we have the CONCACAF Nations League and the CONCACAF Gold Cup, which obviously it's going to be hosted in the United States of America. And we lost the last Nations League. And we also lost the last Gold Cup. We have to get back to dominating our region. We have to beat Canada. We have to beat Panama. We have to beat Mexico. So that's exciting. World Cup qualifying is back. That's a big portion of the cycle, right? And in the last cycle, we didn't play World Cup qualifying because we already were qualified to the 2026 World Cup as the host nation. But this cycle, we have to actually qualify for the World Cup. And that's exciting, right? It's something that I actually missed in the previous cycle. In 2028, we are expected to host the Copa America again. And hopefully we can get some kind of redemption from the 2024 Copa America where we got grouped. So there's a lot to look forward to in this cycle and watch this team grow all the way to the 2030 World Cup. And I'm looking forward to it. And if you exclude the national team for a second, I believe in 2029, we might actually host the Club World Cup again. So that has nothing to do with the U.S. men's national team, but as a soccer fan in America, it is a reason for you to be excited. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching. So those are my 5 reasons why you should be excited for the 2030 cycle. On Monday, we have a very special episode, so keep an eye out for that. It should be out on Monday morning. And that's all for today. Don't forget to drop a like before you go. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.